What's up, Ravens fans? The NFL draft is now just a week away, and lots of questions.
Well, a week and a day.
Week and a day. Thank you. You got to be exact here. There's lots of questions about what the Ravens are going to do with that 22nd pick, if, of course, they stay at number 22. So that's where we'll start things off. The first question comes from Anthony Barnt. Anthony wants to know, he says, I'm not particularly high on DK Metcalfe or Paris Campbell, the wide receivers, but if the Ravens select a wide receiver in the first round, which receiver fits the Ravens best?
Can I start this by saying somebody hit me up on Twitter and said, when is Mint going to boycott the wide receiver question at Mailbag?
I saw that.
This won't be the day. Today's not the day. Okay. I'll answer this one. So who best fits the Ravens? I mean, I think DK Metcalfe certainly fits the Ravens. It's interesting watching what's happened to him, right? So after the Combine, we were asked the question, is DK Metcalfe out of range for the Ravens? I was like, yeah, totally. No way this guy is going to be available at number 22. Now I just saw Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft that he most recently put out. Not even in the first round.
It is crazy. He skyrockets up, then he seems to crash back to earth, and maybe he's fallen too far now.
Yeah, it's really interesting. So, I mean, I think that he could certainly fit the Ravens. I mean, they need a down-the-field threat. Is he my favorite guy necessarily? He's not the guy I would pick, just being honest. I like Paris Campbell. I think he fits the Ravens really well as a stretch guy, can stretch the field with his speed, can run a lot of those jet sweeps, things like that. My guy that I personally like, who I think best fits the Ravens, A.J. Brown from Ole Miss. I'll go to the guy on the opposite side of DK Metcalfe. I like his explosion, his physicality. He's still a big guy now. He's not DK Metcalfe big.
Yeah.
Still a big guy. I think he's got a little bit more juice, a little bit more quickness than Metcalfe has. I think that he offers more in terms of the total package. And you look at production, you look at athletic ability. To me, A.J. Brown makes a whole lot of sense.
This is one of those weird times where we agree with each other.
Oh, wow.
I know, because I'm a big fan of A.J. Brown. Again, the production that you mentioned. And it's funny when you see him in pictures next to DK Metcalfe, because Metcalfe is so big. He looks so little, but he's 6 feet tall. Over 200 pounds. So, he's not small at all.
Yeah.
The Ravens are going to have a lot of options, and I still think that maybe if they slide back, that could be an opportunity where there's going to be a few guys right in that mix. All right, that's enough for the wide receiver questions for right now. Let's go to this question from Eric Shepard. Eric says, what's one player we'd be willing to move up a few spots to nab in the draft? This is a really interesting idea, and here's what I think. I don't think there is a guy, to be honest, that the Ravens would go up and get moving up. I really think that the way this draft falls, the way this board looks, this is a trade back draft for the Ravens. If they're going to move from 22, I just see it being hard-pressed to find a guy that the Ravens would want to trade up and get when you consider the fact that they already moved up in last year's draft and sacrificed a second-round pick. And every indication that the Ravens have given us, I know that there's smoke screens and all that, is that they think this is a deep draft. There's going to be good options in the middle rounds. So why would you give up a third or fourth round pick to go up a few spots to get somebody if you think that there's going to be really good value in those middle rounds? I don't see. Is there a guy that you think?
I got a couple names for you.
Okay.
So how about some pass rushers? I would point to Florida State's Brian Burns as a potential. Montez Sweat out of Mississippi State. I mean, pass rusher is a very big need. There's some really high-level guys who it looks like are going to be off the board before you get to 22. Maybe if it didn't take a whole lot of draft capital to move up, maybe. I still don't think it's going to happen. But those are some of the guys that I would point to as potential.
I think I agree with your point, which is that pass rusher, if they're going to do it, is the position.
Yes.
Because wide receiver, well, there's already going to be so many guys that are right in that mix.
Devin White, maybe, from LSU, the inside linebacker, maybe.
Right.
Those would be the spots. I think it would be defensive spots because of the obvious need, and you have some elite talents that probably won't get there to 22.
Yeah. All right, let's finish things up with this question from Eddie Dominguez. Eddie wants to know which second or third year player is most likely to be this upcoming season's breakout player. His guess. Yeah. His guess is Deshaun Elliott, the safety.
Not a bad pick. I like Deshaun. I think he flashed a lot before his season-ending injury. But I don't think he's going to be the guy because I don't think he's going to have as much of an opportunity. So the guy I'm pointing to, Kenny Young, the inside linebacker, going into his second year. Now with C.J. Mosley out of the picture, I expect it's probably going to be Peanut and Kenny Young. As of now, they could add a veteran. But as of now, those two guys look like you're probably most likely starters. Kenny was really good last year. I mean, he started some games early in the season before Peanut took over that job. Flies around to the ball. I think mentally from year one to year two in this Ravens defense, he'll take a big leap forward. So I think Kenny Young is the guy I'd put my finger on.
Well, you want to talk about opportunity. Two guys that are going to get a big opportunity are both Tyus Bowser, Tim Williams. The Ravens are looking for somebody to step up at outside linebacker after the departures of Terrell Suggs and Zadarius Smith. Those two guys, they got to seize the opportunity now. but they're going to get it, and if they take advantage of it, they could be the breakout player. So,
Totally.
all right, that's all the time we have questions for this week, but as always, we love to hear from you guys, even if you're just asking us about wide receivers. You got another receiver question in you next week?
Maybe one more, and then I'm done with the wide receivers until the draft.
All right, so get those receiver questions in now. Send them in on social media using the hashtag RavensMailbag. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.